The times, Tuesday, June the 7th, 1988. Today's royal engagements. The Queen will be present at a rally in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace at 12:20 to mark the 60th anniversary of the London Taxidrivers Fund for Underprivileged Children.
This is Beaumont Square, a quiet backwater in the East End of London. But it comes to life every year when the annual outings of the London Taxidrivers Fund for Underprivileged Children start from this spot. It began 60 years ago when a few cab drivers were having a chat and a cup of tea in this shelter.
And they started to organise the outings. Originally they went down to Norwood, which was an orphanage down in South London, and picked up children from there and brought them on a trip up to London, sightseeing, then onto the zoo for lunch.
It's a long time gone from those early days when they took a few orphans out for a trip. They now take hundreds of kids on 2 outings every summer. One to Southend, the other to a zoo or safari park. And every Christmas they throw a huge party for disabled children, all of which, and I ain't kidding, takes a lot of organising.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Henry Walker. I'm the chairman of the fund. Can you hear me at the back?
Use the mic.
This is the moment when the boys start talking tactics for the big day.
This year is our 60th anniversary. We started with a few drivers, about a dozen drivers, taking kids to the zoo for the day. And that is why this year we decided to reenact that and go to the zoo, and everything else followed from that.
6 a.m. on the 7th of June, and down in the East End, something stirs as the cabs begin to arrive to prepare for this outing of outings. On the way to the zoo, they're going to be dropping in on some very special people.
My job on the day, basically, is to make sure that all your cabs are looking smart, you're looking smart, and all the children are looking smart. What we will do tonight is that we will give you your posters tonight. These posters we are giving you here, can you please make sure that these large ones will go on the front doors and the smaller ones will go on the back doors. Now these ones here are slightly larger than what is your size of your door, so you may have to just trim them down a bit. Also, as you can see, a lot of us have all got sweatshirts, t-shirts and hats. We would, if possible, like everybody to wear one. They're not very expensive, but it's going to make the outing look very smart. I mean, the eyes of the world are going to be on us on that particular day. So please, if you wear a t-shirt, a sweatshirt or a hat. Also, we are providing just red, white and blue balloons. So please don't bring any other balloons. Don't put any sponsoring on the cab whatsoever. We'd like every cab to look exactly the same, with red, white and blue balloons and our 4 posters.
Do you want me to do a sing and dance like Benny, or is that right? No.
How many balloons, t-shirts, hats and everything else you actually provide for the kids?
Well, this year we managed to purchase 15,000 red, white and blue balloons. We managed to get 600 t-shirts and sweatshirts for all the kids and all the drivers and all the helpers. We also managed to get 1,000 of these hats that the children are wearing. That is the statistics. I mean, there is a lot of things to get.
Extra large for you.
Tell you what, give me 2 extra large. She wears extra large. You know
What is a large?
my wife wears extra large.
But she's tiny, isn't she?
She still likes extra large.
14.
She won't want extra large, you silly.
Malcolm, you send out the invitations to get the kids along for the trip. What are the qualifications for a child attending this?
They come from all various sources. They come from orphanages, various homes, one-parent family groups. Some are handicapped, some are slightly blind children or hard-of-hearing children. There's various qualifications that we look for, but in their own way, they're all underprivileged. Not necessarily financially. You know, some maybe haven't got a parent or either parent even. So it doesn't have to be just financial. There's loads of degrees of underprivilege that we look for.
As a young kid, Jerry Cooper found himself in Norwood Orphanage. Jerry, you sort of bridged the two eras in a sense, because you're driving the kids now, but you were once actually one of those men on the early trips as a kid, that's it right?
Yes, in 1929, I was one of the good children which were picked to go out with the cab drivers. I had another older lad, about 14-year-old, looking after me, being only 6-year-old. Now, today, when I see these children on the outing, I see myself.
Yeah.
As I was those years ago.
Now, who's told you to bring the kids here? This lady.
No, and I just saw them coming up.
No, these are not the wheelchair children for Myra Kane. Yeah, she has got the wheelchair children for these 6 cabs. Right, so all these children have got to go back now and go back to Bill. Right.
Well, they never saw Bill, so I'll take them back.
Take them back.
Ladies and gents, it's a pleasure to do this service for you. The difficulty that I see is trying to get 120 cabs to do as the police want them. So...
And organising 120 cabs can be a confusing business.
You can tell me to count them.
She counted them.
Yeah, you go straight into
So
it.
this one's 27.
This one should be 26.
No, because he's added Jerry in twice.
Jerry who?
Well, the wives love getting involved, actually, because it gives them a chance to have a good chinwag and sit telling us all what to do.
Nor is Jerry's cab.
Nor is Jerry's cab there. So the number of vehicles there is 17.
Plus these two.
Forget numbers. The number of vehicles is 17.
Yeah.
And they relate to cab numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, etc. up to and including 26, which means Brian, the next one in, is 27.
Again.
If the weather's a bit iffy, we will not know whether we're going on the wet programme or the dry programme. So you must wait until we've had a phone call from the palace.
That's the southeast corner.
You'll be topped and tailed by a police motorcycle. What I would ask you is, please, can we have no two-tone horns? I believe in the past, some cabs have used two-tone horns. It does cause a certain amount of hassle and aggravation.
Yeah, 10:30 we'll get into the mail probably. Okay, just if we're what we'll do, we'll hang up and then move over into the palace just after 10:30. Okay.
Right, it's the dry programme. 9:15, we've got to leave.
Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Cheerio, here I go on my way. Wish me luck.
Some things never change, because for most of the children, the outing with the taxi drivers is their only big treat of the year. It might be their first as well as their only visit to the seaside or the zoo. But most exciting of all, this could be their first ride in a London cab. And that's an adventure in itself.
Till we meet once again, you and I. Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye.
Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Cheerio, here I go on my way.
Funnily enough, I think the biggest thrill is in the travelling down. In the actual journey with all the hooters blaring and the decorations on the cab. I think they enjoy that the most. They have a lovely ride in a taxi. And of course they enjoy the other end as well, but I think the thrill of the trip is what really appeals to a lot of them.
We meet once again, you and I. Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye.
Lord Mayor of London is taking the salute at the Mansion House. When you get to the Mansion House, give him a wave. Don't stop, have a chat with him or anything like that. It's not really on.
All right, you got the Queen, we understand that, but how did you manage to get the Lord Mayor involved as well? Because from what I know, he has thousands of engagements that are worked out from the moment he takes the oath of office. So how did you find 10 minutes in his day to get him down there on the podium?
I went in and asked him. No, serious. I went in and then I phoned up and I spoke to his aide-de-camp or whatever they call him, and he says, yeah, just tell us what you want him to do. Then on a dummy run, I popped in there. I said, all right, what do you want me to do? I said, wave to the kids. I said, all right. I mean, the job itself, the taxi driving as a job itself, it's quite a lonely job, and
this keeps me sane. This is, I suppose you could call it a hobby. And that's one of the reasons I do it, apart from the fact of, obviously, I've got 2 children of my own who are, thank God, healthy and got all their faculties. And it gives me pleasure in helping children who aren't so fortunate.
There's no end product in cab driving. There's nothing you can get hold of at the end of the day and say, this is what I've done today. There's no end product. So helping children, doing something that does have an end product, makes the job that much more worthwhile.
By now, the city is punch-drunk from the onslaught of 120 decorated cabs, all looking like West Ham on their way home from winning the Cup as they go to meet their first dignitary for an official welcome.
The best part was coming through the city as we hit the city. Come round the corner, and there was a row of bikes in the road. They're all police bikes, all queuing up. And all of a sudden, they couldn't have had warning we were going. And all of a sudden, they jumped on their bikes and started going, all over the place. Traffic was stopped.
All you could see behind was red, white and blue balloons, and in front, red, white and blue balloons. There was another vehicle in sight.
I bet Dick Whittington never saw anything like this when he was Lord Mayor.
How did you manage to give the Lord Mayor his sweatshirt? Did you stop and give it to him or throw it at him?
Alan slowed down and I was told, hand it out because I'm not going to stop. So I handed it to him. And next thing Alan said to me, looking in his rear mirror, and he said, the Lord Mayor's waving our sweatshirt in the air to the other cabs.
This must be the greatest thing to hit the city since the Big Bang.
Give me a smile I can keep all the while in my heart while I'm away. Till we meet once again, you and I. Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye.
We're now reaching the stage where we raised in the region of £40,000 a year. And last year we gave away, or spent on children, £37,800 odd. During the year we get appeals from various people asking for help, and over the course of the years we bought the kidney machine, we bought incubators for premature born babies, we bought the one that was the first to be used in the whole of South East England, a machine that regulates the flow of oxygen to a premature born baby, and at the time we were told it would cut the mental damage down from 85% to 15%. And we bought a bungalow on a campsite, on a holiday campsite down at Eastbourne, with special wide doors and ramps so that they can wheel the wheelchairs in, and we presented that. It now belongs to a children's, handicapped children's home, and they use it to take children away on holidays.
Even the officials at Buckingham Palace have caught the mood. Relaxing normal protocol, they've thrown open the gates to a bunch of kids and cabbies for the most famous ceremony in the world.
You should see the changing of the guard. Stand maybe within the palace yard. And it's complete to enter bells. You press your noses to the rails and watch from there the changing of the guard. See how they come.
something like this means to me personally is probably the same as what it means to the children and everybody who was on the day. It's something that we are unlikely to do again. The chance of me going into the forecourt of Buckingham Palace won't arise. The chance of me being on the parade ground of the Guards probably won't happen again.
And there'll be a sergeant major who's going to give a commentary on exactly what is going on. And we will move on his orders. And believe me, when you see this guy, you're not going to argue with him.
Good morning, boys and girls. Can I first of all welcome you all to the forecourt of Buckingham Palace, and I hope you enjoy this part of your day out. I'm sure you can all recognise the tune that the band's playing.
People at the palace were unbelievable. You know, even down to the guardsmen on parade, they played music to suit the kids, which was, you know, who's ever heard of asking for requests at the palace?
You smell those? Smell them. Beautiful, aren't they?
They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Left, right, left, right. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. Left, right, left, right. Alice is marrying one of the guard. A soldier's life is terribly hard, says Alice.
They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. And the captain of the old guard handed over a ceremonial key to the captain of the new guard.
He saw a guard in a sentry box. One of the sergeants looks after their socks, says Alice. They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Left, right, left, right. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. Left, right, left, right. They create big parties inside the grounds. I wouldn't be queen for £100, says Alice. They're changing guard at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. Do you think the Queen knows all about me? Sure to, dear, but it's time for tea, says Alice.
Here's the Queen.
When did you first put in your bid to get the Queen to welcome you to Buckingham Palace?
18 months ago. But to ask her, but I was told it was too early to ask.
But once you'd reapplied, was there a quick response? There was a lot of problems?
No, just security problems, that was all. You know, you take 650 people into the palace, it's a hell of a security risk.
First of all, I'll read you... Sorry. I'll read you this prescription. It says... Prescription. Presented to Her Majesty the Queen by the London Taxidrivers Fund for Underprivileged Children to commemorate their visit to Buckingham Palace on the celebration of the Fund's Diamond Jubilee, 7th of June, 1988. Undoubtedly, for all the children, the chances of the 350 children, if ever again meet the Queen in such close contact, is very unlikely, and that is a memory that they'll cherish all their lives. They might not realise it at the moment, but later on they'll think to themselves, I've met the Queen. And that's it. That's what it's all about.
It'll live with them for a long, long time. I know it will with me. No two ways about it.
As the Queen approached us, she spoke to me. Are you a taxi driver? I said, yes, ma'am. The chairman had a word with her and explained that I was on one of the very early outings in 1929. And as I did say to the Queen, as these years roll on and I'm capable of doing so, I shall do so, taking the children out wherever the committee organise their outings for us.
The palace forecourt is all up gravel, and there's a dozen kids sitting on the ground making sandcastles. They've got all this gravel. It's all piled up in sand. I couldn't stop laughing. I called the Queen's equerry over. I said, here, look. He couldn't believe his eyes. He'd never seen it before. One kid would clear all the gravel away so he could sit on the ground. It made it nice and clean.
Isn't that lovely?
It's when the Queen goes and then we go to have our dinner.
They keep in touch, you get letters of thank you, that sort of thing?
I do get letters of thank you, yes. Dear Driver 105, this is from Callum. Doesn't say where from. Thank you very much for taking me to see the Queen. Love from Callum. Short and sweet and to the point, that one. Dear Mr. Shaffron, I'm writing to tell you I enjoyed the day out when we went to Buckingham Palace. I liked it especially when we saw the Queen, and I was very lucky because I shook hands with her. Thanks for organising the taxis. It was a great day. I hope we'll go again. Yours sincerely, Joanne.
Obviously, the Queen coming to see the children and the drivers, they've all thought it wonderful. You know, everybody thought how beautiful she was, and really, you know, and meeting the Queen has made the 60th anniversary well worthwhile.
3 cheers for Her Majesty the Queen. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip.
So, 60 years of offering a helping hand to kids has officially been given the Royal Seal of Approval.
The royal standard in the breeze will tell you if Her Majesty is there to watch the changing of the guard. The columns wheel. Majesty, they march away, the ceremonial ends, and don't forget to tell your friends you meet. You'll see the changing of the
On a normal working day, we feed about 350 soldiers. At lunchtime, they'll come in at 12:30. We're doing this today as per normal, from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. At 1:15, we've got 700 taxi drivers with these children coming in, and we'll be giving them fish fingers and chips or chicken and chips with a selection of sweets for afters.
When we go into the barracks on the right-hand side of Birdcage Walk, we will be stopping there. The whole of the party will stop there and assemble and wait and see what's going on. The children will be entertained, will be looking at what the army's laid on for us, and in the meantime, we shall know whether the dining hall is ready for us.
At last, the old hungry party has arrived at Wellington Barracks. It's been hours and hours since breakfast. It's not so much a visit, more an invasion. Well, it's not that often you get a chance to try out the hardware or go for a ride with the army. Meanwhile, the catering corps is busy rattling the pots and pans, rustling up the menus specially requested by the drivers.
You'll be fed very quickly. I won't tell you what the meal is because you're only going to... It's so mouth-watering, you're never going to beat it. I can assure you, we've been sworn to secrecy at the moment. The chefs are working on it. No, I'm very serious. This man who we deal with is the master chef, and all he wants to do is get rid of you as quick as possible.
It's all right. Chicken? Who wants chicken? Chicken? Fish and chips? No, it's just one. You want chicken? You have fish and chips. No. Who wants fish and chips? Not really much custom here, am I? Want fish and chips?
Everyone was mucking in. They were all clearing the tables in the end and doing everything they could help us to get us on our way, because in actual fact, we were in and out in 50 minutes.
You will find that the feeding time of the sea lions, the elephants and the penguins, believe it or not, we've altered them by a couple of hours. So those animals are going to be starving.
Are the children going to get free passes for the rides?
Everything is free.
The camel rides, etc.?
Well,
normally you have to pay at the zoo.
60 years ago, when Jerry was in the orphanage, times were a lot harder. Pocket money for a week would have been a penny or tuppence, which didn't go very far even then. But on the outing, the kids were given extra money by the drivers.
Then we were given spending money. We had a sixpence. Everybody had a sixpence. When you got the sixpence in your hand, you thought you was a millionaire. Sixpence, something you'd never seen.
I think the days of the Oliver Twist, thank goodness, are gone. And I think that as our standards rise, so do theirs. I think I've been coming to the outings for over 30 years, and it never seems to change. I mean, time and time again I meet people who say, I came on your outing. And I think it's a lasting memory for them.
this is now my 22nd year of doing it, and I think what keeps me going is the fact that when a little child walks up to you and right from the heart he says, "Oh, Mister," he says, "that was the best day of my life," he says, "thanks very much." And to me, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Happy birthday. Taxidrivers.
But behind the happiness of the day, there is a sad reality, and it's not always easy to say goodbye.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, just a few words before we finish the day. I want to thank all the children for coming along and making this such a wonderful day for the drivers and their wives. We really enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
I remember in the early days we took a child and she was such a wonderful little kid that my wife said, she was a from an orphanage, my wife said, let's bring her home for Christmas. And we'd already been warned, don't involve yourself with the children. And I said, no, we mustn't. She was really upset, you know, that she couldn't have this child home even for just a weekend. Well, I think the child would then become involved with us and expect probably more than we could give. I mean, we couldn't take the child permanently, and it would raise hopes in a child that we couldn't fulfil. And it really breaks your heart at times.
Well, this is my personal favourite, funnily enough, of all the letters. I like this one best. It's from Sharon in Tottenham, only 8 years old. It says, "Dear taxi drivers, thank you for a smashing day out at Buckingham Palace. The best bit was when the soldiers gave us all the food. I had fish fingers and chips. My friend June had beans with chips and didn't have any fish fingers. My other friend Brenda, who comes from my school, only had some chips with ice cream later because she doesn't like fish fingers or beans. The other things, like the zoo, were good as well, and the Queen was nice too." I mean, it's the highlight of the day is to see the Queen, and she's talking about the food. I mean, this is, you know, it's amazing, like they've never eaten before. Lovely, isn't it?
Now it's all over, what are your reactions to today?
Bloody fantastic. I wouldn't do it again, though.